Okay, so Layla by Eric Clapton. What does the riff sound like? Well, let's have a listen. Okay, that's the riff, but how we're going to approach learning it. Now, I want us to focus on four main areas. They are hammer-ons, control, playing cleanly, and finally increasing your speed and getting it up to speed. Now, the way I want to do this is just break it down to just 4 notes. Just those, okay? Now, first of all, I want you to play those at about half speed, okay? And the real focus on getting the notes correct. You can only focus on one thing at a time. So play with a pause after each one and make sure you're playing it right. Now, I can only second guess the challenges that you're facing here, but for this video, what I want us to work on is I need the hammer-ons. So with the hammer-ons in particular, we want maximum sound from absolute minimum effort. It's a big thing throughout guitar playing. We want the most out of no tension and real relaxation while we're playing things that are slow or fast, absolutely everything. Maximum sound, minimum effort. So for these 4 notes, we need to find out what's the least amount of effort we can put in but still get the sound we want. So we just really relaxing. Now I'm going to be covering a lot of things in a short amount of time here, so I'm sorry if I go too fast for some of you, but that's why you'd have one-to-one lessons. For the control aspect of it, a lot of my students tend to, when they get to this sort of stage, they tend to put a gallop into it. So, especially when they're trying to increase that speed too early, really focus to not do that. Just keep it each note equidistant to each other. So that way we'll work on our timing as well. So we want 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? And playing it clean, you might need a little bit of right hand muting. If we played it without any right hand moving, it would sound like this. Which I'm guessing is exactly how yours sounded right now if you're at that sort of level. Okay, to avoid that, dampening with your thumb, your fingers. That's all it takes and you'll get that sound that you want. Again, we covered it more in lesson time. To get used to this, to get really used to this so it becomes second nature, I want you to loop it, okay? So I just want those 4 notes looped over and over to get used to the motion. Notice I'm putting it to a rhythm and timing. I'm doing it to a certain tempo. That's what I want you to do too. I'm sure you've all used metronomes before. I'm sure you've all got drum beats these days that you can play along to. I can supply you with countless for each song that we do, just so that it's at the right tempo and really helps you do what you want to do. Another way to keep this interesting is to move it up and down the neck, because really at the minute we're only working on the motion, the mechanics of this. So we could start off, say, I wouldn't want you to go lower for this riff than the 5th fret, but we can do the same motion, so keep the same proportions when you move down. So first finger at the 5th fret. Maintain a constant speed. And you can leave a gap between each attempt and move it up, say. So you can see how we get the beginnings of a run as we move further up. Finally, for speed, you'll want to check out my next video because I'm going to cover this really in depth and give you some good ideas on how we can keep an exercise, basically including just 4 notes, really interesting and how it helps us nail Layla. I'll see you there.